When you click on it, you will see the specific video of the discussion that was had by this council. So if you go there and notify me, put in your email address, it will be sent directly to you. You won't have to go looking for it. Thank you.
Yeah, and again, this will be posted on the town's Facebook page, social media, anywhere that you can possibly get notified by the town. It will get posted. And you can also sign up directly on the town's webpage by clicking the link that says Notify Me. So now we have a very special part of our evening, and it's also very heartfelt, sincere, and very sad but celebratory at the same time. We have a proclamation for Mr. Wayne Pimentel, our building official, and I know he doesn't like things like this, but he's done such a tremendous service to this town by being the building official in this town. In any town, it is a very thankless job to find yourself in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the proclamation as it reads, and I will invite him forward to receive it. I will come down so he doesn't have to come up here, but the proclamation reads, honoring building official Wayne Pimentel. Whereas Wayne Pimentel is retiring as the building official, Town of Narragansett, Rhode Island, as of April 10th, 2026, after almost 6 years of service with the town. Whereas Wayne Pimentel began his municipal career with the town of East Greenwich in 1989 as a special projects coordinator and alternative building inspector, ascending to be the building and zoning official, minimum housing officer, soil erosion and sedimentation coordinator. And whereas Wayne Pimentel left East Greenwich in 2018 to become the building and zoning official, property maintenance enforcement for the town of South Kingstown prior to concluding his municipal career in Narragansett. And whereas Wayne Pimentel also served as a project inspector for the towns of East Greenwich, North Kingstown, West Greenwich, Exeter, and Hopkinton community development departments from 1995 through 1999. And whereas Wayne Pimentel has also successfully owned and operated his own residential architectural design business since 1983. And whereas Wayne Pimentel has numerous professional memberships and accreditations, served on several professional state and local boards, and participated in many community activities throughout his career. And whereas with the love and support of his wife Lisa and children Jocelyn, Jared, and Nathan, Wayne Pimentel has been a powerful influence for good in our community. Now, therefore, all our citizens join us in extending to Wayne Pimentel our deep appreciation for his distinguished service and our best wishes for continued success in all his future endeavors. Adopted this 6th day of April 2026. Please join me in congratulating Mr. Wayne Pimentel. This is a very heartwarming time to celebrate you and recognize you, but know that you will be very much missed in this town and in every facet of our lives here. So really appreciate your guidance, your leadership in this town, and I welcome anyone on the council who would like to provide any additional comment. Mr. Durkin?
Wayne's a gentleman. He's been through this town now for over 10 years, I guess, or almost 10 years, I guess. And he rolls with the punches, I guess. He's had to make a lot of decisions that people aren't excited about, and sometimes they are excited about him, but he always does them in a way that you think he does it in a nice way, and that's a tough job to be nice and get your job done properly. So wish him all the luck in the world, and I know he lives down the south end, so hopefully I see him more often.
Please take some much needed time and well-deserved time off if Mr. Durkin happens to be knocking on your door for a question. I give you all the permission in the world to just ignore him.
Yes.
Ms. McNally, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Excuse me, I'd just like to say thank you very much for your service to Narragansett, the town, and its residents. And thank you for all that you've done for the town. We appreciate it, and you will be missed.
Sir Colony, is there anything you'd like to add?
I'll just extend the thanks to you as well. Done a great job, and I've never heard anything negative at all. Great stuff.
And Councilor Torrio.
Thank you, Wayne, for all of your years of service. Best of luck in all future endeavors.
Thank you so much. Again, let's have another round of applause for Mr. Russo. And what I would at this time invite Mr. Pimentel and his family, if you would like to leave, this is a good time to do so. You have every reason to stay and listen to this very engaging council meeting, but if you would like to leave, this would be a great time to do so. Otherwise, we will kick it off to our town manager's update.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Following up on that, I hired Wayne, and he was truthful to a fault. When we interviewed him, he said, I'm only going to stay 5 or 6 years. And he split it in 5.5 years. He's been a pleasure to work with. He's highly responsive to the residents in this community. He wasn't the type of building official to say to somebody, no. Even though that was the correct answer, no. He'd say, no, you can't do that, but you might want to try this. He'd help them work around the problem to find a solution. Not everyone in municipal government is like that. Wayne is like that. He's a compassionate professional, and like I say, he's highly respected by the residents and the staff that he works with. He represents the quality of town employees that we have. And I know everyone looks up to him for that because he's one of the best. He really is. He's been a pleasure to work with. And he's even trained some really good people that we'll be hearing about later.
Anything else? I apologize. I know you've got probably some other additional updates.
Yes.
Didn't mean to rush it.
At Fire Station 2, the renovation project update. As of Wednesday, February 26th, the fire department's moved back into Station 2, and we're working with the contractor to complete a few extra items on the punch list and some additional landscaping. An official celebration will be held in the near future, an open house and a tour, probably toward the end of this month. Budget, as you are aware, we continue to work with budget preparations, getting ready for the second public hearing on April the 20th. The Rhode Island Interlocal Trust had their annual luncheon last week, and the town of Narragansett was awarded the Risk Management Leadership Award for 25-26. The award was a complete surprise to us. We know we do a great job, all the staff, but out of all the municipalities that belong to the trust, Narragansett was the leader this year. This is due to all the programs that we use throughout the year to reduce risk and save money. We've had cost savings of hundreds of thousands of dollars by utilizing some of their programs and services, and I'm honored that we were selected, and I appreciate all the work that the staff has done to benefit our town and our employees and our residents. The Narrow River Dredging Project there's a meeting notice posted to Coastal Resources Management regarding the project. That meeting will be held on Tuesday, April 14th. This year at 6 p.m. at the Administrative Building at 1 Capitol Hill in Providence. This is posted on our website, on CRMC's site, and on our social media. Veolia public comment hearing that was held on March 30th. Council President Alec Menzies, Town Engineer John Gerhardt, and I attended the meeting and provided commentary for the town. Another notice from Veolia, notice of a public hearing from PUC. The Public Utilities Commission will be holding an evidentiary hearing on this matter on Monday, April 13th at 9:30 at Jefferson Boulevard at their offices. We will also post this on our website. A couple of different items. Good Samaritan received a phone call from a resident who came across another resident over the weekend, putting trash up along Point Judith Road. Apparently, he had about 4 bags.
Mr. Tierney, it looks like both microphones might be on now, so that might be causing some feedback. Thank you.
This is IT's night, I guess. Let's see here. Good Samaritan notified me that they saw a gentleman in town on Point Judith Road picking up trash and had 4 large bags. I spoke to the man, he gave me a call, and he said the man's name was Stephen Chmielewski. And he got his phone number. I gave him a call, left him a message thanking him for what he did. They also received several phone calls from residents over the last few weeks, thanking and recognizing the DPW for replacing their mailboxes that have been damaged during the blizzard. These small things that most of us don't know about, so I'd like to thank the DPW for the conscientious efforts. The fire department. Over the weekend, our firefighters participated in the 2026 American Lung Association Fight for Air Climb at the Army Hotel in Providence. It's a competitive stair climbing event to raise funds and awareness for the fight against lung disease. It's 22 floors, so 44 flights, 348 steps inside the hotel. And the firefighters are in full protective gear when they do this. And 9 of our firefighters participated and raised $1,500 to support the fight for air climb. And firefighter Andrew Howard took 3rd place in his age group, and Kristen Perry, who finished 1st, taking the top spot as the overall fastest female firefighter in the event. Very well done. We're proud of their efforts. The Narragansett Police did an update on the homicide that happened in Narragansett in September of 2024. Brian Wilson was charged with the murder of his mother, Howard Zoe Robinson. Due to the NPD's complete, thorough investigation, this morning Wilson entered a no-low plea in Washington County Superior Court to domestic second-degree murder. He was sentenced to 50 years in prison. Although the efforts cannot bring the victim back, with the assistance of the Attorney General's office, the Narragansett Police were able to get a favorable outcome in this case. We'd like to thank the investigators who worked on that, brought some sense of closure to the family. And that is it.
Thank you, Jim. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Tierney?
Jim, I know we heard about this, but the Narragansett Yacht Club, is that no longer going to be a voting district? Or
It currently does not meet the ADA standards for the state's
ADA? So it did it last year, or not this year, or never did, or one of those things?
It hasn't been past several, and this year it became an issue. Yeah. North Beach Clubhouse is the new location.
Right. And is that like official at this point? Like, is that temporary? Like, I was thinking it was temporary. Is it permanent type thing?
It's scheduled for this year for sure.
No. Got it.
And I would think that until Narragansett Yacht Club becomes ADA compliant, this is going to be the new voting location. And that will get advertised and announced, and mail will go out. You know, we will 100% make sure that all residents are aware of the new location. So, thank you. Any other questions for Jim? No. All right, thank you. On to the approval of minutes. Is there a motion to approve as presented the minutes displayed and shared in items B1, B2, B3, and B4?
Motion to approve B1 through B4.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. On to the open forum part of this meeting. As a reminder, comments of citizens addressing the council are neither adopted nor endorsed by the body, but heard as requested. Public comment will not be taken on matters involving open litigation. Please state your name and address when you get up to speak. Speak only on topics not on the meeting agenda. 3 minutes will be allocated for each speaker, and please be orderly and respectful. Has anyone signed up?
2 speakers.
Okay.
Alicia Henry is the first, followed by Tina Munter.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Please state your name and address.
Alicia McNally Henry, and my address is 40 Lake Worth Avenue.
Thank you.
So I'm here tonight. It's always nice to be here and be in community with my neighbors and our leadership. But I'm here tonight because I have an announcement. After so many years of conversation, planning, collaboration, and a real lot of hard work, it's really exciting to let you know and really let the community know that we have established a community-run organization that is dedicated to supporting sister city type relationships in the Narragansett area. So following and leading with an attitude of gratitude, because we have so much to be thankful for, and I would be remiss to say that this is only possible because of the vision and support of past councils, past staff and present town staff, and so many residents who have believed in what a great opportunity this is for our community. So we were provided with resources that helped us learn so much, and it was really starting from the very, very beginning. And through that process, we were able to thoughtfully develop a system that really is made up of best practices from across organizations that are very similar on how we can administrate programs and initiatives like this and make it make sense for our community. So Sister Cities of Greater Narragansett is designed to create meaningful opportunities for cultural exchange, collaboration, and long-term relationship building, and this is for the benefit of the entire community. And our first partnership, and this is really exciting, is going to be a friendship city. And a friendship city are domestic pairings, and that relationship is going to be domestically paired with Pompano Beach, Florida, which feels especially fitting. There's so many of our residents who spend a significant amount of time in that area. And the president of Pompano Beach Sister Cities, he was the one who actually found us. He is a Rhode Islander with very deep ties to Narragansett. So again, leading with that attitude of gratitude, President Mendes, I am so thankful for your support with this initiative, and our plan will be to have a virtual signing, probably in early May with the mayor of Pompano Beach, and that's just going to solidify the commitment that we have to a reciprocal and really robust relationship that our organization is going to be committed to fostering, because that's where the key is. So there's going to be a lot of ways for residents to celebrate this, so I urge everybody to stay tuned. I know the people, the residents involved in the board that we're forming are really committed to ensuring that these connections go farther than beyond surface level. So we'll be exploring additional pairings and make sure that the benefits are for our littlest pre-K students, to our seniors in the senior center, to families, and all the small businesses are going to have a great way to benefit from it.
Thank you. I had to wrap.
No, that's fine. Can I say
one last comment?
Can I say one more thing?
I just want to be fair for everyone.
Yep, I just want to say we're really excited to show and highlight what makes the people, the places, and the beauty and the businesses that make this community so wonderful. That is what we're most excited about, and I think it's just going to do so much good for everyone. So thank you, and thank you for the extra time.
And once you have a definite date for the virtual signing, like as much information that we can share to celebrate, please share that with the council and we can get it out to the public.
That sounds perfect. We sure will. Thank you
so much. Mr. Tierney? Oh, you already did. I apologize.
Hi, thank you. I just want to say I was Tina Munter. I was scheduled for second, but I actually no longer want to give public comment, but thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I just couldn't find the list.
Well, that's all right. Thank you so much for being here and averaging out the speakers this evening, so thank you. Is there anyone here present who wishes to speak who didn't have an opportunity to sign up? Ms. Silverado?
Catherine Silverado, 48 Oaks Court. I don't think you should run the clock, because I have a funny story to tell. Once during a Zoom meeting, when they were talking about the idea committee and forming it, and they were talking about adopting a sister city, Patrick Murray says, I hope Malibu can be our sister city. Now, the point of a sister city is we're supposed to adopt a city that is less fortunate than us. So I'm kind of concerned about Pompano Beach being our sister city. That's it. Okay, that's a matter for another day, I guess. You received my email about the school budget. I'm going to file an APRA with Jamestown to get the exact amount that they pay us for each student they send, because the numbers are all online. RIDE in 2024 said that we were spending $36,683 per student, and I know we're not getting that. As far as the busing, only Cranston and Narragansett have our own busing systems. And Dr. Cummings' answer that we'd have to pay $800 a day to send 2 kids out of the district. I mean, if they try to charge us this, we could go right to court and try to stop it. You know, it doesn't make sense to me. There's other things, but I'll send you an email about it. The other thing is the amount that it's going to cost us to rehab the Scarborough treatment facility. Now, there are 2 things on the agenda. You adopted the minutes from the September 2025, right, meeting in October. And there were some serious numbers in those minutes. I guess I wasn't paying attention, but I'm just wondering how we're going to pay for all of this. That's about it right now. Thank you.
Thank you. And I would recommend, if you, it sounds like you have already, but if you wouldn't mind providing that same feedback to the school committee as well, I'm sure you have. And I believe I saw Mr. Hanley.
John Hanley, 10 Wilderness Drive. A couple of things. I was reflecting on the last couple of ordinance changes that you implemented, and I wanted to contrast those with your lack of action on another. Before the second reading regarding the ordinance on setbacks, an individual brought up 3 significant issues that should have been addressed or clarified. The appeal from Breakwater Village, the safety issue with the short setbacks, and then the wording in one of the paragraphs that was added that, according to everybody, makes absolutely no sense. How they would give attorney understands what it meant. Additionally, not addressing the concern in the 5 student, I'll call it that ordinance now, regarding the definition of bedroom or legal bedroom. At the last meeting, after you asked the question of the attorney, following my question about what is a legal bedroom, and I think the basic answer was, let's not open up a can of worms. So, you guys are so hell-bent on pushing investors' agendas that you really don't care about the quality content in our ordinances, as long as your non-owner friends are satisfied. I really question collectively your intellectual curiosity. Secondly, I want to address again tonight, this is the contrast. Your inaction on the short-term rental ordinance. This was the priority over a year ago, before you started to destroy this town with your ordinances. In the meantime, the sewer issue, which I said is not your fault, reared its ugly head. And what have you done to alleviate this problem in the short term? Absolutely nothing. The problem is simple. There's too many people deposit too much poop. The answer is so simple that I believe that you can understand it. Limit the number of people per rental and limit the number of rentals. That ordinance is basically written already. However, as was the priesthood ordinance, it's not enforced by this council, nor are you trying to get it finished. End result, this year, come summer, when the stench returns, this time the sting is all on you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yep.
Carolyn Petroselli, Rockland Street. You know, I've read to you all the time, and I don't get answers from anyone. Alex, you used to write back. respond to me. I was hoping I could get the answers to these questions via an email. So I'm going to read what I wrote in the hopes that maybe there are some other residents that have a better rapport with you and you do respond to them. I don't know. I mean, I know that you don't respond to people supposedly when they're here at open forum, but there have been times in which you do. So I'm going to try. I wrote this on April 4th. This was in a follow-up to my original email. Dear Alex, my March 13th email to this town council went unanswered, and I don't see this on this issue on Monday's agenda. So I'm writing once again to ask whether Narragansett will be joining Portsmouth and the growing number of communities, and I understand there may be in excess of 10 at this point, that are fighting with the state to maintain home rule. I've attached my previous email on the chance that it was lost in the many correspondences you received. Respectfully, and I signed it. And I put my phone number as well. The original email reads, that was Friday, March 13th. Dear Alex, as you must be aware, more communities are joining Portsmouth in their efforts against the state's one-size-fits-all approach to the series of approximately 30 bills. During the public hearing on March 2nd, I asked you if you would be collaborating with Portsmouth and those communities in Rhode Island in their effort to maintain home rule. And as you know, in case the residents may not be aware, Portsmouth sent representatives that meeting to fill you in on what they were doing. At that time, you said you would look into it. I am asking for a response to this question. Will you be joining this growing list of municipalities? And if the answer is no, kindly provide reasoning as to why not. I mean, at this point, I'm assuming because you have not put it on any of the agendas that you have no interest in doing this. But I don't know. Maybe you do, and you just haven't gotten to it. Narragansett residents deserve and are entitled to know this. So please do not ignore my valid question. And then I attached a YouTube clip which I wrote about in here. You know, the other thing too is I went to AI and I decided to look up what is the responsibilities of a town council. Well, I guess I won't be able to get an answer to that either. But
If you're able to just provide a final comment, that's fine.
Well,
I'll be happy to provide a response, even though this is not the appropriate time to
I would
engage in
appreciate
that.
it. Thank you. Okay. No, I don't need to go over the reasons. I'll do that another time.
Thank you. And I apologize for not responding to your emails, but what I will say is that it's not my say to suggest what direction the council is going to go on this. We can put it on a future agenda and then discuss at that time. I can't unilaterally say what direction this council is going to go in, but certainly happy to put on it at the next upcoming agenda for consideration. And again, I would also encourage members of the council to reach out to state leadership as well to get their feedback on this, as I think it's important as well.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else here wish to provide comment for open forum? Thank you. So on to consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve consent agenda items as written, items C1, C2, and C3?
Motion to approve C1 through C3.
Second.
Discussion. Anyone on the council have any comments on this? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. On to Town Council, new business, item D1. Is there a motion to direct the town manager to look into adding a seasonal employee level 2 or more at our wastewater treatment facility?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. So this is an item, I believe, sponsored by you, Mr. Durkin.
So, as of the time I wrote this, there's a study going on from back in December. A consultant has been hired. Myself and Donna has participated once or twice with him, and I think there's some positive things being done and plans being made. One of the things I thought was unusual was the lack of supervision on weekends and holidays at the plant. And I noticed through the records that we were requesting that the test samples were on the list for weekends and holidays. Sometimes they weren't on the list for different days, but there was an explanation for that that we'll talk about later here on the agenda. So being such an important part of our town, you know, the production of waste and the chemicals and things like that have to be done, you know, testing that has to be done. I just thought it would be fair to the people of the South End to, for one season only, and for a part-time position, to get somebody with a knowledge of wastewater treatment, someone who probably works at another plant somewhere in Rhode Island who would enjoy hanging around on the ocean front for a weekend, being paid for it, of course, and then reporting back or taking notes or doing whatever his superiors requested. And there would be somebody to answer the phone if there was a complaint, so they could log live information. I think it's the least we could do at this point, and I think we need to do it now to, you know, to prepare for the summer. It'll be here before you know it.
So is the design of this, the intent of this to be a seasonal position for the summer months?
Just for this season. And
Okay.
starting, and my backup was May 15th through Labor Day.
Okay, and and again, I appreciate you, Mr. Durkin, for wanting to address the additional work that comes in with the incoming of summer residents. I guess my question is, what additional service specifically can you envision that this seasonal employee would be able to provide that our current staff wouldn't already?
Well, our current staff isn't there on weekend.
Oh, okay, so this is, again, specific just for the weekends at the time in which...
Just for 2 days.
Okay, I see.
2 or 3 days a week.
Thank you.
All holidays.
They are there on the weekends, Council.
Yeah.
Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays, they're there for 3 hours as an operator there that does testing.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, I believe Mr. Durkin's talking about a full-time position, a full-time, part-time, like full weekends, I believe is what you're looking at.
To increase the amount of service that's being provided on weekends on top of the 3 hours of those people who are already there. Okay.
Well, first I was told they were on call, and then I was told it was 3 hours, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's on call for 3 hours or they get paid for 3 hours. It's very confusing to me.
They're on call, the weekend water people that are on call on the weekends, and they compensate per their collective bargaining agreement. Additionally, Saturday, Sunday, and holiday, 3 hours a day they come in to do the required testing. That's an operator that does that. And it's been like that for quite a while.
Yeah.
But they're on-call staff because they're on call all night. And then there's the 3 hour people that come in to do the required testing.
Well, I think they're part-time employees, so if we find that they're not necessary, we can just let them go. So I'm not trying to hire more people, more full-time employees. I just feel like it would be nice to have people there for 8 hours a day or more on a busy weekend.
I think it's also important that since this is a new initiative, that there is a report that's provided for the service that's being considered here, that we don't, in order for it to be measurable amount. And I want to just be very clear, I am very appreciative of the staff at the wastewater treatment facility. I think this council has echoed those same sentiments as well, that this is really just leveling up an already great service that's being provided. This is just closing the loop on the weekend portion of, and knowing that there's a lot of increased activity that goes on weekends, that there's just an additional member present for just more period of time on the weekends in case, as it is necessary. Does anyone have any comments or questions for Mr. Durkin?
I have a question. Jim, so the 3 hours that they're there, is it the same 3 hours each weekend? Like, do they have a specific schedule?
It's usually on 7 a.m. to 7 to 10 a.m. usually.
So if there is a problem, issue, or somebody calls, the people on call, do they receive the calls, or is it just go to an answering machine and it's not checked?
For any emergency call, they go to the police, and the police notifies the on-call person of the complaint.
Okay.
We are in the process of making some modification to that system. We're trying to get an automated system so that it would fast track it, quicker. But that's the process now.
Only because there are some weekends which go into a holiday, and so it could be as much as 3 days before someone, gets any kind of response back or whatever. So I was just curious as to the hours.
Yeah, it's 3 hours. It's approximately 7 to 10 Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays.
So during the week they test. I know that they're doing tests during the week. So if there's a 3-day period on a weekend and a holiday, no testing gets done during that time?
No, there is testing done. That's what they come in for, primarily.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, just to be clear, the records that we requested, are not, they don't record the tests. They must test for something else then.
There were quite a few, I sent quite a few documents from...
Right, but every weekend is missing the testing for BODs and stuff, so either they're maybe they're just not, I think the ones that happen during the week, Jim, are the ones that are sent to the lab, and then I guess there's some interior testing that's done for weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So
I did send that. I don't have I sent it to everyone exactly what they test for.
Right.
I sent it to the entire council a couple of times. I don't recall the top of my head the exact testing that they do.
yeah, well, I do, so.
If you do have the form, the specific form you're referring to, we mentioned that before, just let me take a look at it so I can reference it right
Yeah.
our staff.
Yeah, we know.
Thank you.
Let me ask you another question. So when you say someone's there for 3 hours, they come in and they check in at 7 a.m. and they leave at 10 a.m. And then you're saying there's somebody else on call for the rest of that day?
There's an on-call person, yeah.
Okay, so how much does he get paid? Or he or she?
On-call is, they get 6 hours.
So you're already paying somebody for 3, you're paying somebody that's not there for 6.
But the 6 is, they're on call around the clock.
Oh, I see, so it's the same person, they're there for 3 physically.
I can't say for sure it's the same person, Jim. I don't go into the weeds on personnel records.
Yeah.
But there is a person that's on call. They get paid 6 hours per the CBA. And then there's a person that comes in for 3 hours to do the required testing on Saturday.
Yeah, because I know, labor and training and all of that, you have to pay people that are on call, so I'm just pay them to be there. I don't know, but anyway, so anyway, hopefully you guys find it worthwhile. I think the people in the South End will find it worthwhile. If we can cut them loose, if it doesn't work out.
We'll look into it, we'll get you the paperwork, and then we'll see how we make out.
Go from there.
Okay?
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
Anyone else on the council have any questions or comments for Jim or Jim?
Mr. Tierney, just to confirm, there's only one person that's on call on weekends and holidays?
Yes, it may not be the same person, whoever has it for the weekend, yeah.
And roles and responsibilities of that person during that time?
To address any complaints that become primarily testing.
Okay.
For the, the on-call person
Yes.
is if there's an emergency, there's a pump failure or any type of event that would require immediate response.
Okay.
The 3-hour guy comes in just primarily for testing, and if anything else obviously happens when he's there, we deal with it.
But the on-call person, the process is currently that it goes to the police and then to them?
Usually, yeah. Someone calls in a complaint, or DPW gets a complaint, or the police department itself gets a complaint, they'll notify the on-call. Same with water.
I know you mentioned that you were working on updating some of these processes.
That one primarily, we're trying to, it's, we'll have to work with IT on it so it will be rerouted perhaps for complaints, like push a button, rerouted automatically to the police station. It'll streamline, make it a little quicker.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have any questions for Jim or Jim? Any comments from the public? Yes, Ms. Silver.
Catherine Silvero, 48 Earls Court. I'm just surprised that the place isn't manned 24/7. So what happens at 4 o'clock? You lock the door and people go home, and then I guess somebody's on call, and if there's a problem, they go and they get paid. I know how union contracts work. You can work 15 minutes and you get paid for 4 hours, but I just don't. This is a huge facility with a lot of machinery. How is somebody not there 24/7? I don't understand this process. Maybe somebody can explain it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. No, I think it's really great feedback, and part of the loop that we're working on closing by providing this additional service on the weekends, 24/7. There's a cost that's associated with that, but certainly, I think the actions that are currently being taken here to address these issues are warranted, and 24/7. If that's another consideration for, in the budget as we're talking about it, I think it's certainly something to consider. Anyone else have anything they'd like to add? All right. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Make sure your microphones are on when you vote. Ayes.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. On to item D2. Is there a motion to direct the town solicitor to review the process and take action for a name change of our wastewater treatment facility?
Second.
Discussion. So, Councilor Durkin, I believe this is in reference to one particular facility, or is it two?
No, it's one facility. I purposely didn't name it, but I just think, when I was on the council in 2020, I had to put the everbites along the fence because I didn't like seeing the wheels and looking at the lifeguard chairs at the same time, and I just feel like it's there. I don't think we have to advertise it's there. I don't want to say too much more about it, but I'd really like to take out the word Scarborough from the name of the plant. It can just be our wastewater treatment plant, it can be the South End plant, it can be...
I think there should be some distinction instead of just doing a blanketed wastewater treatment facility.
Well,
I think it needs to have some
think-
indication. South End is fine if you want to do that.
Yeah, well, actually, South End is what I've been actually saying since...
That's fine.
But I think the motion is really to make sure we can do this and how we do it.
My question actually would be, legally, are we even able to change the name of the plant, and with agreements that we have? I'm just curious, James, is if there's any legal implications with this, as I'm sure there are, with any name change. One, can we even do that? Two, with all of our legal documentation that's out there and agreements that are in place, would this have to be codified with that name change and all of these agreements re-signed?
You can name a different facility if it's bought after a individual, historical event, place, geographical point, or donor. You can name it after a person, which I don't think you do in this situation. You have to have certain rules. The only catch might be that there are grants, loan agreements, things like that, that name place in the documents, but I'm assuming we can get beyond that if you choose to make this change.
So along the lines of geographic location in this example, would South End as a description of general geographic location be allowed?
Oh, sure.
And I know this is small, this is not like a library.
Yeah, no, the restriction
I
is place for like naming it after a person. That's the issue. But generally speaking, you can name something after a geographical point, historical event, but that's up to you. You can just do it by motion.
Okay, and I guess my other question, Jim, would be why? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, I think the answer to that is, I don't know, I think it's pretty clear, I don't really want to say.
It's more so, what is it currently? Scarborough, right? It's Scarborough, and you just want, because of the implications that it specifically serves just the Scarborough area, but it does serve more than that, so you would like it to be more reflective of the services providing by calling it South End.
Yeah,
is that correct?
It's not like a high school, it's not.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to understand that. Anyone else have any questions or comments on it? Anyone from the public? Yes, Ms. Silver.
Silver 48 Rose Court, that plant does not cover the entire south end. Great Island's not, doesn't have sewers, Harbor Island doesn't have sewers. I'm not sure where else doesn't have sewers, but, and then, like you said, Alex, the name Scarborough is probably in like 100 documents. How the heck are you going to pay for all of that? And we're asking for money for grants, and we're asking the state for money, and all of a sudden it's going to be the Sullivan plan, when everybody's used to it being called Scarborough plan. I just don't think it's necessary, frankly. I'm not quite sure, I know you don't like it called Scarborough, but and we can't change the Westmoreland name. That's the South Kingston plant, so that would be up to them. So now you're going to have a plant that says South End and the other one's going to be called Westmoreland. I just think it's going to cause a lot of confusion at this point. Maybe in the future, after all the problems are solved with that plant, then you can change the name, and it's not out there on 100 documents. Right now, I just don't think it's a good idea. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's Ms. Lord.
Hi, good evening, Jill Muller, Sarasota Avenue. Question is, we do have, and thank you for bringing it up, Alex, we do have 2 sewer treatment plants. This one being Scarborough. It's interesting that you'd asked the question, the same question I was, you don't really have an answer for it. The bigger question I have is I know there's been a lot of social media, a lot of newsprint about the Scarborough treatment plant and the amount of bacteria that could be in the air, the smell certainly that's in the air. And I can't help but stop thinking that, is this because of the folks that elected you, the 2100 and the landlords, the investors, they don't like the publicity of having the stench? Are they concerned about having their rentals not filled up this summer? And they're trying to move the name Scarborough, remove it out, so when you Google, it doesn't come up as far as a treatment center and having issues with smell. It's the only thing I can come up with. Thank you, Jim, for your knowledge of the plant. It's quite obvious you have your handle over everything in the personnel. And lastly, I want to compliment Alex. When Carolyn came up and asked about the proclamation that the other towns, communities are doing, thank you for agreeing that you'll put Portsmouth's issue on the next agenda on 4/20, so I look forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Just please make sure our comments are just specific to this item of the report. Dr. Alvin. Oh, and Dr. Alvin, I know you arrived late, but I just want to let you know that this is being recorded. It's not showing up live on YouTube right now. due to some technical difficulties, but this entire meeting will be recorded and posted on YouTube.
Okay, thank you, because I've been getting a lot of calls and texts saying to live stream while I'm here, so.
And that's fine, that's your right, you can do that if you want, I just wanted to share that with you so it'd be easier for you.
So, you know, I wouldn't change the name. I think Scarborough suits it, especially to the fact that, you know, people better be aware that we're having issues with the situation at our wastewater treatment site, and also those issues can spill over to our ocean, Scarborough. So we want that to be known. We want the EPA, we want the RIDM, we want every conservation groups to recognize, yeah, it's Scarborough, and we all know where some of the treated water goes. It goes into the ocean area over there. So we don't want to change the name. We want it to stay that name. That way there, when issues arise, you know, a red flag should go up. There's more consequences than just the smell. There's consequences of coliform bacteria, which can hit our oceans, which can close our beaches, which can affect our fish, which we eat. Especially with, you know, the climate change issues. There's no doubt about it. We all have climate change significantly. So I would definitely be against changing the name. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Mr. Hammond.
Alex, when you're done with that, please make a comment before you go to the next item.
Oh, sorry, what?
No, when you're done with the public, just before you go to the next item, I just want to say something.
Oh, yeah, no, that's okay, thank you.
John Henry, 10 Williams Drive. I guess I don't understand where it wasting any energy at all on this. You guys should be acting to get rid of the smell.
Thank you. Agreed. And I think that the services that are being addressed on the agenda, as well as extensively during our budget season, is doing just that. But thank you for sharing that. Anyone else from the public? All right, Mr. Durkin.
So, you know, that plan has gotten more awards for its
through an audit. It's, yeah.
You know, from turning what goes in and what goes out into clean water that doesn't bother anyone. We're not trying, my intent is not for that. My intent is just to take the word Scarborough out of the name of the plant.
Is your microphone? Oh, it's back on.
Okay. Well, anyway, I just wanted to make, you know, everyone aware of that. I don't know how many years that we've gotten awards for that plant, which I'm very proud of as a citizen of the South End. The results of the research will determine.
Can we get a replacement out here, please?
So anyway, I think I made my point clear. So
can't speak that this one's dying here. Did you? Yeah, there we go. Council McNally, did you need another one? See, you're just talking too much, Mr. Durkin.
Yeah, if you go in that plant, you go in the office, you'll see all the plaques on the wall. You know, so
yes,
they're there. So there's a very concerted effort to it's well taken care of. We just have to figure out what happened last summer and move on and not let it happen again. That's all.
Does anyone else have any on the council have any questions or comments that they'd like to add?
I don't like the idea of the Scarborough name being tied to both the beach and the treatment facility. However, given that we are in a period of trying to upgrade the plant and that applications have been filed and we are looking for grants, I think the name should probably stay the same for this time being. once improvements are made, I think it would be good to look at changing it at that point, decouple it from Scarborough Beach itself, at least in terms of name, but I think it's fine as it is for now, personally.
Yeah, so the motion is to not decide on.
It's to direct the solicitor
Yeah.
to review the process
Right.
to take action. I guess because it's described as take action, it would imply that we would permit the name changing to occur. Because that would
If
be
it's
action.
reasonable and not expensive and not cumbersome, you know? So me and Jim Tierney talked about this. He said it might get complicated with grants and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that's for us to decide, you know, and come back to the council to make a decision.
Yeah, and I agree honestly with the same sentiments that Mr. Torrielli has shared. That's why I asked about the legal implications and agreements that are in place. You know, would a name change impact, you know, all of the paperwork, honestly, that's on file. So that's honestly my concern. I'm okay if the solicitor, you know, does review this process, but I'm not going to vote in favor of recommending such a review, as I don't believe that the facility name is necessary at this time based on the feedback that's been shared. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add before we put it to a vote?
I don't think that I'm in a position right now whether to vote to change the name or not to change the name. I think the motion to allow the solicitor to look to see what the process would be is what I thought we were voting on, so.
The process is fine. For me, it's the take action part of how this is written.
Say that?
Yes. If this was just directing the town solicitor to review the process for the name change in wastewater treatment facility, fine. It's the taking action part that I have an
So
issue
could
with.
we amend the motion?
I believe Mr. Durkin would have to do
Yeah,
that.
we'll amend it to take action.
And I would second that. Is everyone all right with that? All right, now we're going to vote on the new amended language, correct?
Vote on the amendment first and then the
Yeah.
amended language.
So all those in favor on the new amended version, which would read, a motion to direct the town solicitor to review the process for a name change of our wastewater treatment facility, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes 4-1. Thank you. So then on to the new revised amended version. Is there a motion to direct the town solicitor to review the process for a name change of our wastewater treatment facility?
So move.
Second.
Any additional final discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes 4-1. Thank you. On to item D3. Is there a motion to direct the town solicitor? Oh, sorry, I forgot. See, I'm just on a roll here.
It's just to circle back to like what I mentioned when I answered Brian's question earlier. It's very quick. Yes, complaints come through the police station, but what I neglected to mention, I mentioned it before, but I didn't say it. When the computers at the plant detect a problem during the off hours, during the week at night, on the weekends during night, they automatically send the alarm to the police department, who makes the notification of the on-call. But if any citizen calls the police department, they would do the same thing. They call the on-call. The computer, over the course of the evening, if something goes wrong, it sets off the alarm, and the police notify the on-call person. So they get it immediately when it detects a problem.
Thank you. On to item D3, is there a motion to direct the town solicitor to draft an ordinance regarding water usage similar to those adopted by our neighboring communities?
So moved.
Discussion. So we're blowing turkey here, Mr. Durkin. This is another item for you as well. Would you like to give a soundbite on this item?
When the ordinance was in the newspaper from South Kingston regarding sprinklers and stuff for the summer, I thought that it was a good idea, and I thought that we could get ahead of a potential problem this summer by joining in with them. And evidently North Kingston does the same thing. We have a serious water supply problem, and maybe we won't have it this year because of the snow, but maybe we will. Maybe it'll come in August, who knows? But I think this would just be getting ahead of the game. I think it's fair to allow people to sprinkle their lawns twice a week. It should do enough to make their grass nice and grow and everything. And I just think it's a good thing to do. And I think we should all be doing the same thing and not be spotty, go from one town to the other. The sprinklers are going, the other not. Maybe you can all work together because we all share our water from the same area.
So I have a question, Mr. Durkin. You referenced 2 days a week, whereas, you know, in the north end for quite some time, depending on the summer, we've done odd even. Is that something that you would consider as opposed to limiting it down to just 2 days? Because and again, I've shared concerns with you as well about people who have flowers, crops, gardening, you know, people that would be concerned, especially during the excessive hot months of the summer, being only able to water 2 days a week. If you want to just give a soundbite on that.
So there's an agricultural exclusion that was added to South Kingstown's ordinance for the second reading. There's also an exclusion in there for people watering their plants or their own gardens. This is just for lawns. And obviously, if somebody puts in a well or comes off of a well, it's not included.
So in the South Kingston, the addition, it says an exemption, the watering of flowers and/or vegetable gardens, meaning watering without the use of sprinklers, is permitted at any time. And I would say that that would be something I would support also.
Anyone else have any comments or questions they'd like to add?
I think it's a good idea.
And again, sorry, and now I'm talking out of turn. Apologies.
No worries. Oh, sorry.
I was just
No, I think that, and if we did do a directive to draft ordinance, that could be these days and odds and evens and exemptions can be worked on while we're drafting the ordinance, I would imagine.
yeah.
If we put something in place ahead of the summer, hopefully can avoid a total water ban like we had last year. So let's go for it.
Yeah, again, I think it's very important to have, you know, such processes and procedures in place should there be an issue. We don't even know yet if there is an issue. This is forward thinking. And what I will add is that this is just providing the town solicitor with a direction to draft an ordinance, but the council still has an opportunity to provide that additional feedback and determine whether or not they want to move forward with it at that time. I do think that it's very important to recognize, and I appreciate you, Mr. Durkin, for recognizing the concerns with water, especially in this town and in our neighboring communities. Because again, if North Kingstown and South Kingstown are both doing this and they immediately abut Narragansett, I think it's definitely warrants us to be mindful of such actions like this to care for our residents as well. So
I just have a question. Reading the South Kingstown ordinance, I mean, basically it's a good ordinance. It's something that I think we could definitely work with, and the solicitor could start as a starting point in an ordinance. I just have a question for the solicitor. So in number 3, 4, and 5, it talks about connecting municipal water systems for the purpose of irrigation of lawns, landscaping. I guess what I want to know is, would this just be for new systems, or would people, I don't think people should have to be able to, should have to go out and update their system, spend money if they already have a sprinkler system. I personally think that it should pertain to all new systems coming into place. So I just wanted to let that be known.
That's a good question, Donna. So the two items that would be questionable on that would be a rain sensor, which is a device that senses rain in rain events, which shuts off the valve for the timer for the sprinkler, so you're not wasting water when you're getting natural water. Either your rain sense is broken, or, it might be a really old one not to have. So I don't think the town's gonna require you to have a rain sensor, because if you don't, then you probably do it manually, The backflow preventer, I don't know the answer to that, but that will come out, I think, from maybe Mr. Gearhart or something. We'll discuss that with the solicitor or something like that, because that, you don't want the water system to get contaminated by the sprinkler system. And that's what that does.
Yeah, and then it's also something about, you can't deliver more than 5 gallons per minute. I don't know anything about sprinkler systems. I don't know if sprinkler systems do that currently, if that would have to be an upgrade. So I just, like to consider those things when we're looking at this.
Yeah, well, we're not going to require, hopefully we're not going to require an inspection of a backflow preventer. It's like, I have to do those with my commercial properties, and it's like, it's whatever. It's annoying. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Okay. Anyone from the public? Dr. Alba, and then I'll work my way over.
Dr. Alba, 24 Business Terrace. Just actually, yesterday I was walking outside, saw a neighbor washing his car. Goes, wow, we have some rentals that pack people in like sardines. We have a 3-bedroom that has 10. I saw the video of Mr. Durkin's 87 Narragansett Avenue, has 27 or more.
Dr. Alba, you have a very limited time
what I'm
to
trying
speak
to say
to these
is
changes.
we're putting a Band-Aid on a roof. A Band-Aid on a roof. We're going to have some people said, you're going to have the water patrol out there monitoring. Well, where is our rental patrol? Where are we going into the rentals and checking people who are...
I want you to speak directly to the water.
It is water.
It's a fine point.
Everyone who has a rental has people in there who are using water for showers, for dishwashers, it's for toilets. Everyone goes to the bathroom. We all know this. So the point is, if we are going to have a perimeter, which has to be pulled for new water systems, and we're going to put perimeters in place where they have to have a device, which is going to be a water sensor. If we're going to have a water patrol, police going out there, issuing $500 citations, then my question is to each of you, where is our rental patrol out there verifying that a person who can't wash his car, can't water his garden with the sprinkler, because you even said it, Councilwoman McNally, they have to use a hose, and yet a neighbor has 12 to 15 people in their property, or even 8 or 9 or 10, over in excess of the ordinance of 2 per bedroom.
Okay, again, Dr. Alba, I've warned you a couple of times, and I don't want to cut you off. Please keep it specific to the changes.
It is related. If we are going to talk
speaking to
about
another ordinance.
water shortage, then this here is definitely related because water shortage.
This is about sprinkler systems. This isn't about overall water usage. This is sprinkler
We
systems.
have a spring, we're so concerned, Mr. Durkin is so concerned about us having a water shortage that he should put in place a motion that we have people check on the number of people who are living in the rentals. That's what I'm trying to get at. Thank you.
Thank you. And what I will add, Dr. Alba, is that during our budget work sessions, we have an extensive amount of dialogue assured that a additional position is in the new upcoming budget for that specific reason of enforcement. So I just want to make sure that that's very clear to you. Ms. Alberto.
I'm totally opposed to putting any restrictions at all on us. The full-time residents, the part-time residents, people who actually live in their houses, there's 2 to 3 people. I think if you're going to put restrictions, honestly, it should be on the rental owners because they have 5, 6, 10, 15 people in these houses. And the watering is an issue in the summer because your gardens and your lawn and all that other stuff. And I don't think the average resident should have restrictions. It's my husband and I, and last year, let me tell you about this. The odd even started very early in the season, and then I went to a full-out ban. So I called Veolia, because I have 2 neighbors that have gardens. They said hand watering with a watering can, and I could not water my flowers. I just planted new bushes, couldn't water those down things, I hope they lived. And I was all of that kind of thing. Like, you could pretty much do nothing, okay, when that full-scale ban went in, and even on the odd even days, you could not water your garden or anything. But we went from a odd even right to that full ban, and that lasted, I think, through November. I'm not sure. It lasted a very long time. But like I said, I don't think the average resident should have any restrictions. We're not overusing our water. I use a fraction of what I'm being charged for. Most of us use a fraction of what we're being charged for. And I think that people who put 5, 6, 10 people in a house should pay more. They really should. And those are the people that should have the restrictions, not the average resident. So if you want to make up an ordinance that's going to put a restriction on the rentals, fine. But on the average resident, I'm not feeling it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hanley?
John Hanley, 10 Otis Drive. So, agree 100% what he said, 10, 12, 15 people, thousands of gallons, I think we're right. Agree with what she said. Basically, it's the same thing once again. You're asking the residents to sacrifice so the investors can make their money. That's all that you're doing, and it's pretty obvious to me.
Anyone else? Okay.
Just so the council knows that your water is billed out at a fixed, at a certain level for so many gallons, and then the excess usage is charged to every house in town. And if the excess usage of the water also creates a sewer excess bill as well, so no one's getting away with anything with water in Narragansett. And so just to make that clear, and this is, I don't think there's anything in that ordinance that talks about not being able to wash your car. It's a planned maintenance of your lawn, that's all it is, I think. And I thought it was well thought out by them, and that's why I proposed it.
Thank you. I'm sorry, no, go ahead.
I like the idea of being proactive so that we don't end up in a situation like Ms. Sullivan talked about where it went to a full and we couldn't do anything. If we're more proactive and we start taking things on sooner, then maybe we won't ever have to be in that situation, and we would be able to just continue to water our flowers and do the things we want to do.
Thank you. Mr. Tierney, would you, and I don't even know if you have this readily available, I'm just curious. There has been an uneven ban in the north end of town, particularly. I'm just curious, where is that stemmed from? I know there's like overlap with North Kingstown up there as well, so I'm just curious.
How that, it's been, when they do the uneven, it's been something they've been doing off and on for years.
Mhm.
It wasn't restudied or anything, just a reduction.
And I live, of course, in the north end, so when the odd even, and I apologize for my being naive, that's why I'm asking this question, is when a water ban goes on up in the first 3 or 4 streets in Narragansett, is that also happening in the remaining part of the town as well?
John's got the exact wording for the ordinance.
Oh.
Good evening, Councilmembers. Just the north end that's fed by the North Kingstown system, that is currently in the ordinance, and it's patterned after North Kingstown has an odd even, and they changed the ordinance a little bit, but it's to mimic or mirror what North Kingstown does, so their supply, so we do have it in there. And one thing I would like to say, I think we do need to add some updates in the language with respect to the outdoor littering, and I'll work with the solicitor when he works on that to get the language correct for everything.
Thank you, John.
Anyone else have any questions or comments on this? No? All right, and again, the motion is to direct the solicitor to draft an ordinance. The specific language of the ordinance, if it should be considered at a later time, will be voted on and discussed at a later time. So no action, no impact at this specific juncture. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. On to item D4. Is
Alice, could I interrupt you, please?
Yep, go ahead.
Respectfully request if you could move an agenda item up. G1 is the motion to approve the appointment of Gary Jones as the building official. He worked today and he's here with his wife and his son for the appointment. And he has to get up early.
Motion to move it up.
Second.
Do we need to vote on that, or can we just consider it? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. So we will move to consider item G1 and then continue on to D4 right after this. So is there a motion to approve the appointment of Jared Humes as the building official effective April 6, 2026?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Discussion. So this comes right from the town manager. I don't know if you want to provide an introduction.
Yes, I would. Jared comes to us with a great deal of experience. He was the building official in Groton, Connecticut. And prior to that, he was a building inspector in the town of South Kingstown. He was trained and worked under Wayne. And we had 4 applicants for the position. And Jared was the lead. And we're very proud and happy to have him on board. And he studied under a great boss. And he is here this evening. If you'd like to stand up and be recognized, we'd like to welcome you aboard.
Yes, welcome. Thank you.
After tonight, do you still want the job?
I was going to say some pretty big shoes to fill, but it sounds like I'm relieved to hear that you had a close partnership with Mr. Pimentel, and definitely looking forward to getting to know you as you provide this very important service to the town. And you have my full support, and I'm sure this council's support as well, as we help to onboard you to this position. Anyone have anything to add?
Congratulations and welcome.
And this is a motion to approve the appointment, so if there's anything final from the public, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Again, congratulations, Mr. Humes, and welcome to Narragansett. Okay. So we're okay to continue? Okay. So on to item D4, is there a motion to adopt a resolution in support of House Bill H 8151, the Blue Wave Bond for Coastal Preparedness, which proposes a 2026 bond referendum authorizing the state of Rhode Island to issue up to $100 million in general obligation bonds, subject to voter approval to fund critical coastal preparedness and resilience projects.
Motion to approve.
Discussion. So this is an item, we shared this at a recent Coastal Access Improvement Committee meeting. And the specific language came out of the Coastal Access, that meeting, suggesting that the council provide a resolution in strong support for this initiative. Again, Narragansett being on the coast, and I thought I had more language in here in support, but again, the language is that this bond initiative would support the protection of Narragansett's coastal communities, our shorelines, support habitat restoration, flood mitigation, shoreline stabilization, infrastructure improvements. Let's build up some dunes to protect our coasts and our beaches. Maybe save some sand instead of having to purchase it every year the way that we do. Again, just an initiative at the state level that is, providing funds that will ensure the long-term sustainability and protection of our beaches and ensure a year-round high quality of life for our residents. Anyone have anything they'd like to add?
If this can bring dune replenishment to the beach, I think that's only a good thing. I was walking Narragansett Beach last week and down by the river mouth. It was almost unrecognizable to the beach that I used to go to as a child. The dunes are entirely gone, washed away by winter storms and hurricanes. And if this can bring back the dunes, protect the ecosystem that we have at the beach, and maybe even keep some water out of the street during the storms, I think this is only a good thing.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Totally agree.
Thank you. And the other thing I will add is, there's this ongoing dredging project and the source of funds. I know the town just recently applied for applications to our senators and reps in Washington, so hoping and praying, fingers crossed, and we ask all residents to voice your support for this initiative to your state and federal senators and reps. And this, again, even though there's no guarantee, this is just very much a bond initiative. We have no idea how much will be allocated to each city and town, but it would be really awesome if some of these funds could be funneled towards a dredging project. So, again, more discussions to be had on that, but again, this is just a resolution in support, and this is currently in review up at the State House. Would anyone have anything they would like to add? Ms. Elro.
I'm going to have to start sending emails. Catherine Silver, 48 Rose Court, I know you're going to have to submit this resolution. You really don't have any choice. But a $100 million bond is really a $200 million cost. And I, just by your discussion, it's so obviously self-serving. I just think to myself, somebody Pawtucket when they're at the polls and they go $100 million bond. I don't think so. There's no coast in Pawtucket. I don't know how far this is going to go, but I guess you have to put the resolution in which we can get some money and try to grab as much as we can. I'm just wondering if it's going to go anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Alba.
Dr. Al, yes. When I was in college, I actually worked for the University of Rhode Island, and it was actually our IDM at that time too. And we toured all the beaches in the state. I toured all the beaches in the state. I interviewed people what they like, what they dislike. So I'm all into protecting the beauty of our beaches. I remember, just a short time ago, we had Carol Hagan-McEntee, representative. She was touring with Sheldon Whitehouse, Senator Whitehouse. They were walking down the Narrow River area. And they said, we need to have this dredge. And there was this push for the money to get that dredge. So this is all well and good, but like I said, and I got to repeat myself, and this is all relevant. This is all relevant, because we had a carrying capacity study on the beach. They came up with some ideas. I actually even told them we could reach out to the Army Corps of Engineers to get this job done. It would have been subsidized also with federal funds. So having a huge bond, that we all are taxpayers. And I know Stan Wojciechowski, when he was up and running and he used to show up, he used to always be concerned about, spending money on taxes. My dad also was frugal and conscientious about spending people's taxpayers' dollars. So, in my own research, I have found, and you can do this on your own, it's on the forum page, increasing building density exacerbates flooding, exacerbates hardship on our beaches, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's compounding. So I know Speaker Sakachi is pushing build, baby, build. But we have to put the brakes on. Because, like I said, which was discussed in the past, we've dredged that river in the past. And because of climate change and beach erosion, it's just a matter of time when it just returns to its situation it was in. So I don't want to spend 1 cent on any kind of issue if we as a town are not going to do things to prevent flooding. Building on any kind of wetlands, or even near wetlands, is a bad thing to do. I got the postings, I got the research. I'll gladly submit it to all of you if you want that. But it's documented. So, it's like I said, I don't want to spend 1 cent, even though it all sounds great and crystal clear, it's beautiful, we're going to be helping the environment, we're going to help our beaches out. But are we really, or even helping out Narragansett, are we really, if we are going to be, we're increasing the fog, we're unmerging lots.
Thank you.
So we're basically doing things which are basically, in my opinion, are increasing building density, and building density basically is bad for our environment. This is why we have these other 8 towns fighting the situation. So I hope and pray you guys reflect on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? So what I will add is, again, as Ms. Celebrato has actually already pointed out, is, we have no idea how far this is going to go, or if it will even make it to the ballot for a state vote. But again, if you want a piece of the pie, I think by not having a resolution in support for this, it would really be a missed opportunity. Again, this is not funds that would be directly coming from the town, it would be coming from the state. Obviously, there's, how does the money get to the state? I understand that. But again, in an initiative like this, I think it's very important that the town of Narragansett, if there's any expectation to get any piece of the pie, that a resolution be supported as this is under consideration. Again, there's no guarantee that this is going to pass, but while this is being considered, I think it would be a real missed opportunity for this town to not support any initiative that would protect our beaches, our coastlines, and restore our dunes and protect our beaches and coastlines and residents that live in that area for decades to come. So, again, I appreciate the feedback. Anyone on the council have any final comments?
I agree.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Please speak into the mic. Aye. Thank you. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 5-0. On to item D5 is a motion to adopt a resolution in opposition to the proposed water rate increase by Veolia Water Rhode Island, Inc. and Public Utilities Commission docket number 2530 WW. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. So last Monday, there was a public hearing portion of the meeting. Councilor Durkin was out of town on personal leave, and 3 other council members had to be present at this location for the school the school budget to be reviewed. There was, in order for there to be a quorum, 3 people had to be in attendance. So I do know, and each council member can voice their feedback, because I have had my individual conversations with each of them, that they wanted to be present at the public hearing to provide comment last Monday. I, however, was the one who represented the council in this town in providing feedback and voicing concerns and strong opposition against the proposed rate increases, as I think that it was really important for us to share that feedback, as well as Mr. Tierney was also present, as well as Mr. Gerhard, our town engineer, who all voiced strong opposition to this. And I thank Mr. Tierney and I believe Mr. Gerhard for waiting until the end to really get a full analysis of all the commentary that was provided. So thank you. So with that, the language that's of this resolution sort of resembles what South Kingstown has already passed. This is more applicable to Narragansett and our town residents. Again, providing strong opposition. And again, I recommend, even if public comment has already occurred, please email and call Veolia and provide your strong opposition if you don't want these water rate increases to occur. And again, Mr. Tierney, I believe you shared that there was another meeting coming up.
There is one currently scheduled, always subject to change. PUC will be holding an evidentiary hearing on this Monday, commencing on Monday the 13th at 9:30 a.m. at their offices on 89 Jefferson Boulevard.
Thank you. And if anyone on this council is able to attend, I recommend doing so. I know that's a tough time for people to attend, but it's a strong recommendation. Mr. Callahan-Majoni?
Yeah, I think for context, as you know, Veolia recommended this rate increase for Narragansett and South Kingstown. Working together, the engineering departments from South Kingstown and Narragansett, as well as the legal departments, have filed a motion to intervene in the PUC proceedings. That was granted. Working together again, we retained an expert to assess the water rate increase request. Last Monday, as you mentioned, was a public hearing in Town Hall in South Kingstown. President Menzies, Jim, and John all went, which was great. Next Monday is a public hearing at the PUC, which I'll be in attendance at, as well as Peter Squirters and Mike Ursillo from South Kingstown. And there'll be further hearings in April. As recently as an hour ago, I spoke to the solicitor in South Kingstown. We have a meeting scheduled tomorrow to discuss this further, and also Veolia may be seeking to resolve this through some kind of mediated settlement. So I think our efforts so far have been great, and they've led to that potential resolution. And if that happens, there's an offer of some sort, we'll come back to you with that potential resolution and a recommendation.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone from the public have anything they'd like to add? Ms. Alvarado?
Catherine Salvador, 48 Oaks Court. I think I heard at that meeting where they said they thought the average increase would be $11 a household. I heard that number said by somebody. The problem with this is small businesses. They're going to be hit more than the average homeowner. You get a small restaurant, you get people who do power washing, landscapers, nurseries. They're going to really feel it. And I don't think that's addressed at all in any of these resolutions or any of this talking about it. So I think if we're going to do something, I think we should add in the effect that this will have on our small businesses in this town. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone
Dr. Al. So, first of all, I want to applaud you for fighting this. This is a good thing. And $11 per month might not mean much to Mrs. Celeberto, but $11 increase per month can mean a lot to people that have family with kids. This is an election year. So I think we should reach out to our senators, Senator Alana DeMario. We should reach out to our representative, Carol Hagan-McEntee, and have them get on board as well to fight this. We also should call the governor's office, the Public Utilities Commission, and any other individual or entity that can put a stop to this. In economics, they have inelastic and elastic, depending on if something is a monopoly, water, what other resources do we have? So they might want to go up, we got to say, or even maybe reach some kind of compromise. But the thing is, we have to fight this. I think we have to exhaust all remedies, contact the small businesses. Like I said, the Narragansett Chamber of Commerce. I was spokesperson for this SBA, and obviously our representatives and our senators. This is what they've been elected for. So let's reach out to all possible resources for elected officials and have a say to put brakes on this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. I do know that our representatives have been supporting us on this, so they are actively supporting us.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public have comment on this? So I'm going to just really quick, just read the statement that I shared, if that's okay with all of you. Because I just want to make it very clear that not only, this is a resolution on behalf of the town of Narragansett, but on record that was shared with Veolia was the position of also sharing concerns of small businesses as well. So again, I'll read through this as quickly and briefly as possible. And ad-libbing, I will time myself 3 minutes. Across our town and throughout our country, people are grappling with the rising costs of everyday life. Groceries are more expensive, gas prices remain unpredictable, and essential household expenses continue to climb. These are not abstract concerns, they are felt at kitchen tables across our community every single day. In this context, that we must carefully consider the proposed water rate increases by Veolia. Water is not a luxury, it is a fundamental necessity, essential for our health, our homes, and our livelihoods. Any proposal to increase the cost of such a basic service must meet the highest standards of fairness, transparency, and accountability. Unfortunately, as it's been presented, this raises serious concerns. The burden of these increased rates would fall directly on our residents, working families, seniors on fixed incomes, and small business owners who are already stretched thin. At a time when affordability is one of the greatest challenges facing our community, adding yet another financial strain is simply not acceptable. We must ask, is this rate fair? Is it equitable? Does it reflect the true cost of providing service, or does it disproportionately impact those least able to absorb the increase? Before any rate adjustments are considered, it is both reasonable and necessary for Veolia to provide a comprehensive cost of service analysis. Such an analysis would ensure that rates are aligned with actual service costs and the customers are not being asked to shoulder any undue burden. Transparency in this process is not optional, it's essential. Our residents deserve clarity, they deserve justification, and most importantly, they deserve a rate structure that is affordable and equitable. And I'll cut off the rest there, but again, just want to echo the same sentiments that have been shared this evening, and it is on record, and not only did I provide commentary on behalf of the town council, but Mr. Tierney and our town engineer, Mr. Gerhard, also provided strong opposition, sharing these same concerns. So again, I think I've shared enough airtime. Anyone on the council have any final comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. God? Oh, yep, go ahead.
Can I ask to move J1 up on the agenda? There's a woman here that wants to donate a piece of property, and I don't think she should wait any longer.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it's gonna be, I think these next couple are gonna be pretty quick anyway, but does anyone oppose to moving J1 up to before E1? Okay, so Councilor Durkin moved that motion, seconded by Councilor Colonies. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. So we're on to community development by request. So is there a motion to accept the donation of real property located at Assessor's Plat R3 Lot 84 to the Narragansett Land Conservancy Trust, subject to a title search and town due diligence?
I'll move the motion.
Second.
Discussion. Oop. All right. So, Mr. Durkin, you requested that this item be moved up. Would you like to speak to this?
I just wanted her to be able to get up and.
Alex, I can give a little context here.
Sure.
So we in the land trust were approached maybe a month ago regarding a little parcel of property on Great Island. This piece of property is small and could be an entryway to the water, and it wants to be donated. So I see no reason why we should say no to this.
Would you like to, are you here to provide commentary on this or just here for support?
I already attended the land trust meeting.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Collins, do you have anything you'd like to add? Were you in attendance?
I wasn't there, but I know Karen. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else on the council have any comments or questions on this particular item? Anyone from the public? Dr. Alba.
First of all, I would like to thank this young lady that donated. What is your name, please? Karen. What's your last name? Yeah, so I don't know if the town can consider, or maybe we can speak to our Parks and Recreation Director. Maybe we can have a bench, a nice bench put in that place with this lady's name on it as a little token of memorial and thank you of the town. So I hope that might be a consideration. I think it'll be a nice gesture. And thank you again. So we'll have to, I guess she's speaking to Karen.
No, Dr. Allen, I just want to make sure.
All right. Okay, so in any event, I'd like you guys to consider that. You have to speak to Parks and Recreation Director and what other powers it might be. But I think that'd be a nice gesture to have a nice bench there, maybe with her name or her family's name on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think that's a great, I just muted myself. I think that's great feedback. And again, if that's something that Land Trust even would like to provide a recommendation at a later time, as well as the Recreational Advisory Committee for consideration. But with that, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break to run to the restroom. Oh, we haven't voted on it yet. Look at that. Apologies. Anything from the council? Final comment from the council? No, we're still voting on the donation of real property, item J1.
Motion to accept.
No, we already made a motion.
Oh, sorry.
Any final?
Oh.
Let's bring ourselves back to the center. You're in a rush. No, I know. I was recessing for a bathroom break, forgetting that we didn't take a vote on this.
Final comment. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. On behalf of the town of Narragansett. So with that, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll come back at 9. All right, so we're on to item E1. Is there a motion to read, pass, and adopt as a second reading an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 10 of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of Narragansett, Rhode Island, entitled Buildings and Building Regulations?
Second.
Any discussion from the council? This is the second reading, so we do not take comment from the public. All right, all those in favor? Aye. Councilor McNally?
Aye.
I just want to, Councilor McNally, did you vote on this? Sorry. Any opposed? Motion Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. On to item H1 from the Parks and Recreation Department. Is there a motion to award the bid? Oh, I'm sorry, I checked them both off at the same time. Apologies. On to human resources. I apologize. Item F1. Is there a motion to approve a revision of the job description for the building official to reflect current position duties, requirements, and responsibilities?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion from the council?
I have a suggested addition.
Okay.
Essential functions, number 1, at the state, to extend that to state laws, statutes, and codes, as well as local ordinances. And then on section 11, I guess, 10's crossed out, so the new 11, after zoning ordinance, to implement, to monitor state legislation as well.
Which one was that, Jim?
Number 11, Jim. The new 11, it was 10.
And I think Mr. Durkin can also provide this copy of the changes, just so that you have them for any update.
So, we're going to vote on that.
Oh, I know. I just want to make sure, even if that is considered. Any other text changes or updates?
That's it.
Okay. Anyone from the public on this? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. On to item H1. Is there a motion to award the bid for custom apparel for Parks, Recreation, and Beach to the lowest bidder, SP Designs and Manufacturing, at their quoted prices for a 1-year period ending April 6, 2027?
So moved. Second.
Discussion. So again, in my discussion with the town manager, I believe this is just the standard agreement for the seasonal staff, and again, that's what we're voting on here. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Anyone on the council have any comments or questions? Anyone from the public? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. On to item H2. Is there a motion to approve a change in policy for South Pavilion locker laces, allowing for an additional transferable beach pass in place of a second picture pass?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. So, Mr. Tierney, I don't know if you want to provide a comment on this, or is there someone up on the council who would like to comment on this first? No? Go.
Okay, you want to go first?
Yeah, you go ahead. Thank you. I think these microphones are haunted this evening. They tend to go in and out.
There you go. Michelle had come to me, there was some of these lockers that were not leased yet, and some of the inquiries that she had received were that people get the 2 photographic passes and 2 transferable passes, and want the opportunity to be able to make that 3 transferable and 1 photo pass to make the sale a bit more attractive so they can sell them all.
So my question here would be, if this should pass, does this same treatment go for all other South Pavilion lockers that have already been sold?
I believe it's just the one, just the smaller one, is it?
Sir, it would just be for the lockers that are unleased at this point. But again, if this policy does change, we could certainly offer that to those payments we have already received for the season.
Okay, and then for those who did not hear, do you want to?
Yeah, okay. So what you're asking is if this is specifically for the ones that have not been sold, the answer was yes. But if those who have already purchased them with the 2 photo and the 2 transferable, Michelle at Parks and Rec could accommodate them if this were to pass, so if some were already sold, so that we can try to sell them all and everyone on the same page.
Okay, because I do think that there would be a real uproar for those who have already committed, for there to be a special treatment had I just not committed and waited, you know. And again, I appreciate the initiative here, but I think it's, to me, I think the lockers are already marketable. If they're not selling with what's being offered here, I'm not overly convinced. Again, I applaud the initiative here, but I'm not, again, overly convinced that changing this policy the way that it's being presented is really going to change anything. I personally would, again, like for there to be a contingency plan in case, again, not necessarily be considered at this time because of how late we are in the season, but for future councils and budget seasons to consider. I think that there should be a time in the calendar that after a certain period in time, if we have not sold these lockers, that we should consider opening it up to non-residents to purchase at a more expensive rate. So at least we are selling those lockers for the season and we're getting the income for it. Because again, even with these changes, there's no guarantee that we're going to sell the remaining lockers. I wholeheartedly believe we will. So that's why, again, I'm just saying a contingency plan, because I do believe that they will sell. But if for whatever reason, you know, they don't, you know, there's a loss of potential income. I just think it's very important that for consideration in the future, that this town potentially have a contingency plan in place which would allow us to sell the lockers to non-residents if it means selling them and making even more money, because people want them. I know they want them from out of town. But again, I understand the direction that this town has taken, as well as previous councils. So again, it's just food for thought. It's not something that's being done at this juncture. It's just something to consider at a later time.
So I love that idea. I don't see why you couldn't approach it on a two-pronged approach. You could probably pass this, and then we can talk about if they're not selling them to out of towners at that point.
Okay. I mean, again, I didn't even think of that. It was just more so for food for thought. I don't have a strong belief that this is going to change anything or make it more marketable. I think, again, maybe I'm not the right person to be sitting up here, but I personally think that this could lead to current locker renters who've already purchased for the season, or we might see an increase in people being upset. But again, I know that accommodations will be made. So, and again, we're this late in the season. I believe the office has just opened up to start selling beach passes for the season. We are a month earlier than we normally are. Again, I applaud the efforts here, but just, again, something to consider that I think in the calendar year where we are currently, I think there should be a time in which, if these lockers are not sold, that we should open it up for first come, first serve at a higher rate for non-residents. Again, it's just a consideration. Because again, I don't want to leave money on the table.
Michelle, how many are left?
22, sir, as of this
22 left. And again, they're probably only going to sell anyway, just providing this dialogue.
Doing a little advertising for Michelle, I think.
I think this is good.
Yeah. And I think last year, you guys remember, that we had the same issue, and it was 30-something left around this time. And somebody said, oh, well, we have to send it to the recreational or whatever. And by the time it got through there and everything, they were all sold, so.
And just for consideration for residents who might be listening at home, who may not know how these work, if you own if you rent a South Pavilion locker this season, do you get first dibs at it next season automatically?
Yes, sir.
And the answer was yes. So thank you. Anyone else on the council have any other questions? Sorry. My ear started ringing. Ms. Elbrow.
There's an inherent problem in this policy, and I know none of you recognize it. The problem is this, that people who had rented a locker before 2018 are allowed to buy a non-resident parking pass. So if the locker cost is $420, they pay another $100 for a non-resident parking pass. You're up to $520, and two people split it, okay? So now you're up to what, $260 each, whatever it is. People who rented after 2018 after can't buy a non-resident parking pass. So they're sitting on the beach, and one guy is saying to hey, I bought a pass for my brother-in-law. Somebody else is saying, I couldn't buy a pass for my brother-in-law, how come? So, this is what the problem is. You have a similarly situated group. And by that I mean resident taxpayers. That's a similarly situated group who you are supposed to always treat the same way. And you're not doing that with this policy. Because, again, people who rented a locker before 2018 can buy a non-resident parking pass, but afterwards can't. So the people, so they're paying $420 out of pocket, the ones after 2018 and after, as opposed to the ones before. I bet the ones before aren't giving up their lockers. It's the ones after that are giving up their lockers. I would say probably more often. You have to have a policy that's consistent for everyone. You have to make a choice. Are you going to let everyone with a locker buy a non-resident parking pass or not? And I know what's going on here. She wants to give these 3 transferable passes that are kind of worth $300. I guess people could sell them, I don't know. But without that parking pass, that's a biggie. And I think you could do that right now. You could amend it. This was amended in the past. Everybody used to be able to buy a non-resident parking pass. And then, I don't know if it was Steve or whoever decided it was losing money, I'm not sure. But it's just not working, It's like everybody doesn't get to buy it or everybody does. Because again, we're talking about a similarly situated group, resident taxpayers who you have to treat the same when it comes to leasing town property. So you really have to, I think it should be changed. There's a similar problem with the change in rules, but let's just focus on the lockers right now. And I think that you could do that right now. You could just say everybody who rents a locker gets to buy a non-resident parking pass, and then they get those 4 entrance passes, and they get their own parking pass too. And that would make the lockers really, people would really want them because of that non-resident pass. Or not at all, don't give it to anybody. But there's no consistency, and that's the problem. Thanks.
Thank you. Well, I agree. I think a parking pass is a lot more marketable for the town beach than just adding a couple of passes, transferable, and the way in which this is written. I also agree in aligning the prior, before 2018 and after 2018 with a non-resident pass. I think they all should have that same opportunity. And I know we're considering the lockers only at this juncture, but I do agree, and I think that the parking pass is a lot more marketable. That's why when the parking pass that you guys have been working on comes up for consideration, I know that's going to sell and the town's going to make a lot of money for it. But I personally agree with Ms. Alberto's assessment on this. But again, oh no, I know. I was talking about the fishing. Sorry. But again, that's my opinion. Again, I know that we're considering the lockers here, but I'm curious, does the council have any other feedback on this particular?
I'd say if we're going to look at that, now is not necessarily the time for that, given that we are going into the beach season. This is something that we should examine come August, September, in preparation for next year, and not to affect this upcoming season. That way they have, a bulk of the off season to review and come up with a recommendation.
Agreed, and I think that's actually really good feedback, and I appreciate you for grounding us on that, because, and And I know Ms. Kershaw's in the back. She's been taking notes very diligently. So this is something that I would like for a future recreational advisory committee meeting to consider at a later time. I do know where we are, that we've just started to sell these out. But again, I guess circling back, we are talking about adding in an additional series of passes for those who have not yet been sold. So I do think that we do have the ability to offer up a non-resident parking pass if we should be in agreement on that. But does anyone else have any other thoughts on that?
I just want to say, I'm not going to debate whether it's your parking pass or not, but I do think that you have to be able to change policy. And sometimes you have to grandfather people in and then change the policy. Sometimes it's just not possible to take something away from someone who's had it. And the policy's changed. So now when that person who has it gives it up, they can no longer come back and have the same thing. I just think that at some point you have to grandfather people in, you have to let the process play through until you get to a point where that's the policy. But to say that everyone has to be equal and we should take it away or give it to somebody else, and I'm not debating whether it's the...
No, I understand what you're saying.
I'm just trying to say that the process, I believe, sometimes is something that has to happen sometimes.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that at all. It's just in the situation where there's a luxury as a non-resident pass being given out to locker renters who have been here and reliably have been here since before 2018, that those who have come in after 2018, it's a policy that I did not agree with getting rid of. I think it's a really great point that was brought up that should really be considered later on to bring back, but it does sound like the consensus is just to vote on the specifics of this ordinance as it's been written. So any other final comments on this? Seeing none. No. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. On to item I1 from Public Works. Is there a motion to approve the purchase of one new 2027 International Model HB607 4x2 heavy-duty truck cab and chassis only from Allegiance Trucks in the amount of $121,736.90 pursuant to the Sourcewell contract? So moved.
Second.
Discussion. So, Jim, do you want to give us some on this, or?
Sure. This truck was budgeted in for fiscal 26 in the capital improvement budget, and we've put additional funding in the 27 budget to build it out. The heavy-duty truck cab and chassis has what they call Cummins L9 engine, which is proven to be reliable and well liked by the people who work with them as far as maintenance and whatnot. If we delayed in purchasing the vehicle any longer, we would get the transition over to the Cummins X10 engine, which has been newly introduced and it's not demonstrated for reliability. We'll be getting the L9, which has been tested and it's brand new, and this is the best move. The other vehicle is due to excessive maintenance and rust. It's unserviceable.
And again, to echo, it's already been budgeted for, so again, just up for consideration here. Anyone from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Item J1 was already considered and voted on, which passed 5-0. On to item K1 is a motion to approve the electrical repairs for the spray wastewater pump station to be completed by EW Audet and Sons, Inc. in the amount of $45,409.00, utilizing the General Electrical Services contract. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Bear with me, folks, as we wind down the agenda. So just, if you wouldn't mind, just the first and the seconds, like just the faster we get through those, the faster we get through the agenda. So with that, do you have any questions or comments? Don't look at me like that. Any questions or comments on this? Anyone from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. On to item K2. Is there a motion to approve change order number 5 for the project in the amount of $1,011.00 with Key Corporation to add alternate one bid street tie-ins, which was not included in the contract due to funding considerations at the time of the award? Key Corporation has agreed to hold the prices submitted with their original bid, which was awarded November 18th, 2024.
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Colony, seconded by Councilor McNally. Any discussion? Anyone from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. On to item K3. Is there a motion to award the bid for wastewater lab analysis to the second lowest bidder, Microbac Laboratories, Inc., at their quoted contract prices for a one-year period ending April 7th, 2027? Moved by Councilor Dirksen, seconded by Councilor Colonies. Discussion. Any comment on this? It's a very important service to the town. I think we need to recognize that and that it's necessary to award this bid.
And I think it was very helpful to explain how we got there. Lengthy and helpful.
Yeah, they have point of proof. Anyone who works in wastewater, they all know each other. They checked around, that's how they found out the other vendor was under.
Yeah, it's nice to know all that. It's great.
Anyone else?
So this is the company that will replace the company that's currently doing our testing, correct?
Yes, it'll be a new contract.
And so I think it should be noted that there was a problem with that company as far as losing power at one point, and problems that I believe may have contributed to some of the problems at the wastewater treatment plant. So I think going with the second highest bidder is a good choice.
Anyone else? Anyone from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. On to item L1 is Information Technology Department. Is there a motion to approve the renewal of Cisco Duo services for information technology with Zones LLC in the amount of $21,870.00, utilizing the NCPA contract? So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Anyone from the council have any questions or comments on this? Anyone from the public? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. On to finance. Is there item M1? Is there a motion to approve the use of the State of Rhode Island Master Price Agreement and National Association of State Procurement Officials contract for fire protection services with Johnson Controls Fire Protection LP at the contracted prices and hourly rates for a 2-year period with possible annual extensions based on the MPA and ASPO contract terms? So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Anyone have any questions or comments on this item? Anyone from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. On to the town clerk is item N1. Is there a motion to appoint 2 individuals to the Economic Development Committee for a term set to expire on April 1st, 2029?
Motion to appoint.
Second. Discussion. Any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Jeffrey Sanciolo for reappointment to the EDC.
Is there a second?
Second.
So we have a nomination for Jeffrey, who has been moved by Councilor Torrealde, seconded by Councilor Colonies for reappointment. Any discussion?
He's a great asset to our committee, and hopefully we all vote for him.
Anyone else? Anyone from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0 for, I don't have the last name in front of me, but Jeffrey Ciencio. Thank you. And for an appointment set to expire on April 1st, 2029. Are there any other nominations for appointment? I will nominate Tony Jones, but I want to make it very clear that, just as a double check here, Sarah, that Tony Jones is able to be appointed since he is the only other additional appointment on file for consideration while he is serving on another committee.
Dual appointment is allowed.
Thank you. So I will move to appoint Mr. Tony Jones. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, seconded by Councilor McNally. And discussion again, Mr. Jones has served on another committee in this town. He has also run for school committee, and he has served for school committee in North Kingstown as well. So again, I think he will be a good asset to this committee. So with that, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right, on to item N2. Is there a motion to approve a 3-year contract extension for the town's web-based agenda setting and board and commission software with Granicus in the amount of $14,933.27, year 1, $15,829.27, year 2, and $16,779.02, year 3, under the same terms and conditions of the original contract, and to authorize the town manager to sign the contract.
So moved.
I'll second it, but it just seems like a lot of money for something that's just software, you know? It's not that complicated. I don't know why they have to charge all this, but that's my comment.
Also, discussion. I do, I had my opinions on it as well. Why, and it's understandable, but I don't know why it costs. Okay, so it's not understandable. I just contradict myself. Why something like this does become more expensive over time. You have a rate you're paying year 1, and then it just gets gradually more expensive. So something like this, it just doesn't make sense to me. But I know it gets budgeted out. You guys do a really great job, and so I understand. In that sense.
In my experience with software companies in general, especially with databases, things of that nature, they're very expensive in general, and I can imagine for municipalities, they're that much more, right?
So if the expense increases because they update their software, I think they should have some kind of a training session on what the updates do and how they benefit us, because sometimes obviously sometimes I have some trouble with doing and understanding it. But I think, you get used to one thing and then all of a sudden it's upgraded and you're like, okay, well, where did this come from? Why is this happening? So I think we should include training.
Thank you. Anyone from the public have any comment on this? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Is there a motion to retire into executive session in accordance with Rhode Island General Laws 42-46-4 and 42-46-5A2 to discuss possible action, litigation, national opioid litigation, and in accordance with Rhode Island General Laws Section 42-46-4 and 42-46-5A1 to discuss possible action of personnel.
So moved.
Second.
Hold on a second. Roll call vote. Councilor Torialde. Aye. Councilor Colonies.
Aye.
Councilor Durkin. Aye. Councilor McNally.
Aye.
Councilor Menzies. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
Just 2, yep.
All right. Welcome back. We are on video, right? Good. All right, so we just got back from executive session, and there were 2 votes taken. One was to seal the minutes of the executive session that passed 4-0 with 1 abstention or recusal. 1 recusal being myself, and the second was a motion to adjourn and return to regular session, which also passed 4-0 with one recusal as well. Is there a motion to adjourn at, what time is it? 9:47 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Have a great night.